I just FaceTimed with my dad, and he said maybe I should go live and just let you guys know what it's been like over here, and that we're all doing well and we're okay. So I don't have any notes prepared. I'm just gonna talk to you guys a little bit about what last night was like and where we are today. But the Mitchell family is doing excellent. It has been a quiet day today. So basically what happened last night is we were all asleep and we went to bed with some sense that today could be an interesting day. And we've kind of had these thoughts all week because things have been happening, like just picking up on things in the media, knowing that we were at the 60-day mark that the Trump administration had given Iran, the Islamic Republic, to agree to a deal, and that they had not made any decisions and were not really willing to talk. We had friends in the Milawim, which is reserves, that were given instructions to keep a bag packed and be ready to go. I mentioned in my post that I typed out this morning that I actually was supposed to have a meeting with Ambassador Mike Huckabee this morning. I was so excited about it, and all day long I was like, Lord, please don't let us attack Iran until after the meeting. But apparently some things are more important. So when I got the cancellation from his office last night, I was really like, okay, things are gonna happen. We probably are gonna have a baseball game. We were supposed to go to a bar mitzvah this evening that got canceled as well. But you know, we were just kind of prepared, and so we all went to bed. I slept with my phone next to my bed, and normally I don't do that. Normally I keep my phone in the kitchen because I just don't like to have it in my room at night. So in the middle of the night, it was 3 a.m. and we were all jolted awake by a siren, and I grabbed my phone, grabbed my dog, my kids, we all went downstairs. And it was interesting because Israel has been so gracious to us in the last few months, where they have provided an advance notification warning when we are going to get some type of ballistic from the Houthis, because it takes long enough for those to arrive that they are able to give us notification before the siren even starts. And so that's been a wonderful grace because it allows us to get down to the shelter without panic, and just in a much more state of calm. A handful of times we've gotten the notification and then our neighborhood hasn't gotten the siren, but even so, I still much prefer this to just suddenly running. So last night at 3 a.m. when the siren went off, I was really surprised when I grabbed my phone and we didn't have a notification. That was really unusual because this has been the protocol. So I thought, okay, this must be either something really big and surprising, or it's just from Gaza and it was coming too fast. So we all went down, and by the time we got down to the shelter, Homefront Command had sent out a notification that we had, I can't remember exactly the word, I posted on my Facebook, but so y'all could see, but basically it was saying that we were advised to go to the shelter because of an imminent dangerous attack, or the possibility of a dangerous, I can't remember exactly, you can go look, but they sent us down early because they were anticipating the possibility of something that could happen. So Devin and I kind of joked about it, like nothing happened here on American soil, but it did give us the opportunity to all get on X and follow the reports about what was happening in Tehran, which was just wild. Otherwise we would have woken up and been like, what in the world? So it was kind of interesting to read all that while it was taking place, and to see the posts that people were putting on X. We like to follow Raylan Givens. I think he is at Jewish Warrior 13, but he's extremely accurate. He reports before the mainstream media, and his reports are usually correct. So I recommend following him. So that's where we were keeping up with what was going on. And so I decided to sleep down there with the younger children, but the guys went upstairs. So we did not get a good night's sleep. It was, you know, we were not prepared for this. So I went up and grabbed sleeping bags and pillows, but we didn't have our air mattresses down with us. So it was really uncomfortable. So then when we woke up in the morning, we got to start really piecing everything together and learned this crazy, amazing story about Operation Rising Lions that has been in development for over 20 years. It got its name because, I believe anyway, I haven't seen this for sure, but the Iranian flag that the Iranian people embrace, and if you guys have followed me for any length of time, or if you know me personally, you know that I really have a heart for the Iranian underground church and the Iranian resistance movement, and I wrote a pretty detailed article about this for All Israel News back when I had time to write. I haven't been in media as much lately because I have been running baseball in Jerusalem, and also I've had some architecture clients, and I have had zero time. I've been so busy. I've been going like 100 miles an hour, so I'm sorry I haven't kept up better. But I really have a heart for the Iranian people, and they have really been wanting Israel and America to go in and get things moving and to strike their ayatollahs and the supreme leaders there and the nuclear sites, get things rolling so then they can take over. And so they have a popular hashtag that's hashtag Iranian stand with Israel. And so that's trending again today. But back in the 70s, when the revolution happened that kicked out their monarchy, and at that point they were very much a free society and very modern. And then this Islamic Republic came in, but the rightful king should have been Shah Pahlavi. So Pahlavi, he has a quote that is, hold on, let me just pull it up. I didn't get notes, but I did get this. So King Reza Pahlavi, he says, "When the lion and the sun rises again, the world will see a new dawn of peace." And so the flag of the people is the colors of the current Islamic Republic flag, where it's green, white, and red, but rather having the Muslim emblem in the center, it has the emblem of a lion with a sword and a sun rising behind it. So I suspect that that's probably why they decided to name this Rising Lions, is just to honor the will and the heart of the people to get out from under this regime that has been so abusive to them and just so evil and demonic. But this plan has been 20 years in the works, and what I'm understanding is that we came up on the 60-day mark of the deal, and Israel was able to show the United States that they believed Iran was just like weeks away from getting a nuclear weapon. And the American administration was in full agreement and on board with what happened. And a lot of the reports, this is what Devin and I put together based on articles we've been reading. A lot of the reports that were out showing discord between Netanyahu and President Trump. Also some reports about the Prime Minister's son's wedding, and our government's been in shaky conditions. I don't know, I mean, that still might be true, but some of the promoting of these stories was in part a disinformation campaign to make it look like we weren't in a position where we were interested in attacking directly. So then we did, and it was crazy. Basically, the way I'm understanding it, and I might not be getting this 100% correct, I was up all night and I did take a nap, but it was a rough night. So basically what has happened is that this plan was put together 20 years ago, and it was a joint effort between the IDF and Mossad. And not only were we coming in with the IAF, but also we had Mossad drone bases in Tehran that were actually launching drones at key leaders, and also their ballistic missile defense system there. So that was partly why they called us to the shelter, because if something went wrong with that process, then we could have come under attack. So basically, like when we started attacking the nuclear sites with the IAF, Mossad started hitting the key leaders and the ballistic missile launchers so that they couldn't shoot Israel all at the same time from within Iran, like in Tehran and surrounding areas. So that is just crazy insane. Yeah, so that's basically what happened, and I'm understanding that we took out at least 10 key leaders from the nuclear science program. Also, we took out 20 to 30 key military leaders, and the report that I saw was that they were in a meeting together discussing a missile attack on Israel. So they were all in one place, since it was easy to do. Again, I'm just a Israeli citizen here. I don't have insider information, so I can't verify this, but this is what I'm putting together from credible sources here. So yeah, I mean, everything just fell into place and went really well. And then this morning we got up and we learned that we were under threat from a drone attack, and it takes the drones 2 hours to arrive. So that's always a really crazy experience to be like, okay, so what do we do while we wait? So my husband went to the grocery store, we got showers, we fed everybody breakfast, we did a load of laundry, you know, things you do when you're waiting for drones to show up and sirens to sound. But fortunately, the IAF was able to shoot all of them down before they even made it to Israeli airspace. So we didn't even have to get a siren. In fact, at the time we thought we were going to get a siren, we got a notification from Home Front Command saying we didn't have to stay near the shelters anymore. So we are still under warning of possible threat, and everything was canceled. Large group meetings, anything non-essential was canceled for today. So we're all just kind of chilling at home, having a family day, and it's been really peaceful and calm. And we're just, I mean, there's some anxiety, but there's also a lot of excitement. I mean, this Iran has been the funder of radical Islamic terrorism throughout the Middle East now for decades, and like since the 1970s. And they have 13 proxies who have all been launching rockets at Israel during this war, and they are the major funder of Hamas. And the Iranian people, I think, like those of us who are believers and evangelical, we tend to talk about that Iran is like the head of the snake, but the Iranian people actually more so talk about it as the head of the octopus, and the proxies are like the tentacles. So we can chop at the tentacles all we want, we can chop at the end of the snake all we want, depending on which analogy you like, but until you get the head, it's still going to be alive. So this is just kind of a huge thing. I'll say this too, 2 weeks ago when we had Shavuot, which is the Feast of Weeks, or in New Testament, it's Pentecost. We went hiking and we had this beautiful view of Israel on the drive home, and How Great Is Our God came on our playlist. And I was just sitting there like, looking at Jerusalem from this high location, looking at the city. And I just stopped in the car and just started praying and asking the Lord to bring this war to an end in a way that would show his greatness. Because I do believe that this war aligns with Psalm 83 in scripture. And at the end there, the Lord gets a really decisive victory, where it's like, no doubt that God was behind this. And I was just looking at the city and just thinking about how we could zoom out and see all the homes. But God is so great that he not only could see that big picture zoomed out, but he could see every family in each home, every individual in each family. He could see every cell in every individual. He knew the numbers of hairs on every person's head in every home. And that was just the magnitude of his greatness. And I just stopped and really asked him, just, Lord, do something great here. It doesn't seem right for this war to just kind of fizzle out in diplomacy, or for our hostages to remain in suffering. It seems like we need to press in and ask you to do something great so that the nations know that you are God, and so that the fame of your name will spread across the world. And so we just prayed that together in the car. And it was really amazing, because I really feel that what we have experienced in the last, I guess it's been 13 hours now, has been, just a response to that sort of prayer and that sort of desire to see God move in the world for the fame of his name. So yeah, we're doing great. I mean, I feel really good spiritually. I mean, we were really tired, but I feel like my my heart and my soul are at rest so much, and we feel safe. My kids, they had a fun time. They're not traumatized. We're just really expectant and watchful on what the Lord is doing. So let us know. I just want to speak to Cindy. No, it's not Ezekiel 38, because we are dealing with completely different nations. Psalm 83 is dealing with the nations that are surrounding Israel's perimeter. The Ezekiel war, and it happens for a different purpose than the Ezekiel war. It happens to take the pastures of God and to wipe out Israel. And then Ezekiel 38 happens when Israel's in a time of peace. And this war did not start when we were in a time of peace. We have not been in a time of peace the entire 16 years I've lived here. And that war is primarily nations that are of a different geographical location around the outside of the Middle East. So, and it's not actually primarily Iran, it's Magog, which is up north. So yeah, this isn't Gog and Magog, guys. Something different on God's prophetic timeline. But he is good, and we are at peace here, and we're just kind of waiting. They are telling us that we have possibility of these sorts of attacks happening for the next few weeks. So I don't know. I mean, I'm really hoping that it won't be that, and it'll wrap up quickly, because we also can't like press hold on life, right? We do need to move forward and finish the school year. My husband's school's supposed to have prom Sunday. We have a few more baseball games we need to do. My husband's school has graduation Wednesday. We have parties for our kids. Yeah, so there's a lot going on, and we really appreciate you guys continuing to pray. The IAF is continuing to strike Tehran right now. That is still happening. And I'm not sure, what their plan is for this mission exactly, how long it is, but I mean, I'm just really grateful that they're getting it done, and thankful for the American support. It happened in full cooperation between U.S. and Israel. Also, I want to say something else too, because I saw some things online where people on like the far right were like, Israel's dragging America into their war with Iran. Not true. You guys, never in Israel's 77-year history have they ever asked for American boots on the ground. And I want you all to make sure you give that response to people, because people are using that on the far right, like the far right of the MAGA movement, to try to dissuade people from supporting American assistance for Israel's efforts here. But that's something we've never asked for. We've never asked for boots on the ground. What we want is continued support in the UN, continued military exchange and weapon sales, and just kind of that continued exchange of intelligence. So it is not the heart of the Israeli people to want American boots here. So yeah, that's where we are. We're doing great, and we really thank you all so much for your support. Please get in Psalm 83, look at it, match up those 10 peoples to the different proxies. They match pretty perfectly, guys. Know God's word, be at peace, everything's good. Mitchells are doing really well. And we just thank you so much for your support. Bye.